Hello everyone, welcome to Beaver's Hobby channel. This is the review of Atomic AMZ 127 scale 4-wheel drive RC car. The Atomic AMZ came out in 2014 and it quickly became the go-to car to start racing in 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive touring class, and you'll see it in pretty much every racing event. And since it is 4-wheel drive, it can also drift, which is exactly what I'll use it for. Right now there are 3 packages available. No matter what you choose, you'll have to provide your own wheels from MiniZ all-wheel drive. Tires. Body. Battery maximum dimension 45.5 by 19 by 18 mm. And finally your own radio system for transmitter and receiver. And it comes in kit, so you will have to build it. The first one is kit with electronics. This package costs about $110. And it is the one I have. It comes with micro brushless sensorless ESC, brushless 130 motor, and a 5G digital servo. It seems like the motor and servo are randomly put in the box because I've got 3500 kV motor and digital metal gear servo, but on the website it says 5500 kV motor. Well, I'm not complaining because I'll be using this car for drifting, and 3500 kV is perfect for that. But the description should be updated anyway, so the customers know what they are buying. This set is great if you want to build a new car and don't want to bother choosing the electronics. The included servo is pretty fast and precise too. The next one is chassis with ESC. It is about $90, and I highly recommend this because the Atomic ESC is very good. And if you don't want to use a brushless system with sensor like Swift or Team Powers, you will choose this ESC anyway. The last one is chassis only. It costs about $65. This one is perfect if you want to choose your own electronics or upgrade from other chassis, for example WL Toys, so you can move all the electronics here. Now let's take a closer look at the car. The chassis is carbon fiber plate with plastic gearboxes and parts. It is based on MiniZ all-wheel drive, so the wheel, swing shaft, and differential are interchangeable. An MA010 spring damper is also compatible with this car. It comes with 2 center shafts for 94mm and 98mm wheelbases, so you can build it however you like. And I choose the 94mm wheelbase. That's also optional 90mm wheelbase kit. It uses double wishbone suspension with grease-filled shocks for dampening. Also, the suspension has almost no slop, just enough to move freely. On the shock tower, there's a hole at the center for you to stick a rod or a pen in there to lift the car up and check the weight bias between left and right. This is a great feature to help you tune the car. The width without wheels is 53.5mm. The chassis without battery and receiver weighs 105 grams. It's fully equipped with ball bearings. And there are also drift tires included in the box. The included differentials are ball differentials and they are great. They are really smooth and don't slip even on low tension. However, I'm not using them because I'm building a drift car, so I use front one-way and rear solid axle instead. But if you get it for touring, these differentials alone give it amazing value for money. The chassis is highly customizable, but there's no turnbuckle except the steering rod, so you'll have to buy extra parts to change the camber and toe angle. This makes the car durable in crashes, unlike the Mini QQ7, where one bad crash can cripple the adjustable suspension arms. There are aluminum upgrade parts too. Furthermore, there's also wide chassis kit. Stock steering angle is limited by the downstopper and tie rod. The turning circle is about 60 cm, and that's enough for touring car. If you wanna build a drift car, I highly recommend getting the bell crank steering upgrade. So the steering angle is much higher, and drifting is much easier. To use a MiniZ body, you'll have to trim the side clips off like this, so they won't interfere with the motor. and the body should be wide enough to accommodate the servo mount. For racing and track day, it is better to use body post kit and Lexan body or soft body. Stock gearing is 15T pinion and 33T spur. Moving on to the electronics. Here's the floating servo mount for 5G steering servo, so the length is not going to be a problem. Any standard 5G servo will fit. For example, the Jennings D561MG will fit perfectly. The motor size is 130. You can use either brush or brushless, but if you use brush motor, it must have mounting holes at the front like this. All in all, if you do an upgrade from other chassis like WL Toys, there's nothing to worry about. You can move everything from there to here. If you use Atomic ESC, you might have to convert the battery plug because it uses JST, PH, 2mm 3 pins. And the plug that connects to the receiver is JST, ZH, 1.5mm 3 pins on both ESC and servo. If you use a standard receiver, you can make an adapter like this. Now let's take a look at the build, tips and tricks, and what should you look out for. It took me 3 hours to build. For the most part, it was uneventful. Everything is packed and labeled in orderly fashion. The manual is pretty detailed and easy to follow, and all the screw holes line up exactly where they're supposed to. I only needed to clean the excess plastic as usual, and I'm happy to report that there wasn't much of it in this kit. Here are some tips to help you build this car. The spur gear will rub against the chassis if it is installed towards the front. Move it back as far as you can before tightening it down. The upper suspension arm can only go on the ball head from one side. If you look at the arm, there'll be the side with curved edge and the side with sharp edge. The ball head goes into the side with sharp edge. This side is also a bit glossier than other side, making it easier to spot. Next, the included servo saver doesn't work, but you can use the standard servo horn instead. The ball head goes on the second hole from the top. You need to widen the hole with 1.5mm drill bit and tap it with M2, then cut the end off so it won't hit the top plate. Finally, when you install the steering rod, you don't have to follow the manual exactly about the gap between the links. Adjust it yourself until the wheels are pointing forward, so you don't have to use a lot of steering trim on the transmitter. I also recommend you to get some M2 lock nuts for the wheels too. The included plastic wheel nuts won't last very long. Moving on to the problems I found while building it. First, the gear mesh is really tight. The differentials need some 6x8mm shims, which are not included in the package. You'll have to buy them separately. Keep adjusting the diff position until it can run smoothly. And even after that, it might have a bit of grinding noise at first, but the gears will wear in after some time. Next is the gear mesh between the motor pinion and the spur. It is really hard to adjust the gear mesh here, so push the motor in gently, and don't over-tighten the outer screw on the motor case, because it'll push the motor in too far. The other problem is sticky bowling socket on upper arms. The lower arms are perfect, but the upper arms are too tight, and the car is undrivable if you don't fix it. First, use pliers to massage the bowlings. That should fix most of the problem. And if that doesn't work, you'll have to size the bowling, which means widen the socket. This can be done easily with 4mm sizing tool or ball end reamer, but I don't have it, so I use the ball head that doesn't have screw thread, which is a broken part that I got with the AMZ. Put it on a drill. Then cut it with a knife, deep enough so it has some grooves. Put the link on. And run the drill. Try to swivel it around so it is smooth in all directions. Do it slowly until it is loosened enough that you can lightly touch it to move the link. Finally, after the build, I can see that the car has uneven camber. You can fix this by getting the additional camber arms and mix them together. But as far as I can tell, I don't notice any problem with the handling yet. I have a separated video for test drive. You can check it out if you want. Now let's go straight to the good, the bad and final verdict. First of all, you need a fair bit of know-how and experience to build this kit. But it is not harder than anything I present you in this channel anyway. The build was pleasant, and after the suspension is sorted out, it is amazing to drive. The handling is predictable, and it is very stable in the corners. It is great for both touring and drifting. Sure, there are some problems, like camber out of alignment and sticky suspension, but it is not hard to fix. The car is also durable. I've had some crashes, but nothing's broken or out of alignment yet. The only downside for me is the modability. The gearbox is really tight, making it difficult to make CS mod for drifting. It is not impossible, just a bit difficult, and I'm working on it, so you can look forward to the AMZ CS mod in the near future. All in all, this car is really worth the price and time to build. It is a worthy upgrade from an entry-level car like WL Toys, and also the experience from fixing a lesser car can help you build a perfect AMZ. What I wanna say is, if you have WL Toys, don't sink too much money into the upgrades. Just buy the Atomic AMZ, and this will give you a better car and better value for money. If you are looking to start the RC hobby and want to commit to it but have no prior experience, AMZ can be a bit daunting because you'll have to choose some parts yourself, like the battery, charger and radio. So learning curve will be steeper than buying a ready-to-run car, but I still highly recommend it. It's a good car to learn how to build and a good car to learn how to drive. But if you just wanna try the hobby, there are cheaper cars like WL Toys and TRQ1, so you don't have to spend too much money just to try it. And that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I upload a new video. You can follow me on Facebook to see what I'm doing between videos, along with some quick updates. Thanks for watching and see you again next time.